So
Oh my god. So
the power's ending.
it's true. And then we'll just talk about how he's 20 all the time. But to look at this match,
can you take this? Yeah.
Yeah. To look at this match though, av3k and Cypher today in their matches that we saw, the first one we saw them play, av3k was a beast. av3k just tore things up constantly. LG, Rail, Rockets, everything. And I think if he was able to maintain that form he had them throughout the twos tournament and then bring it into Duel, I actually find this to be one of like the hardest matches for cha1n right now.
If I were to force a prediction for you, would you? Who would you go with?
av3k, yeah.
Really?
I think if av3k is playing like he did earlier on today, 2-0.
I think I'd agree with you. Yeah. I'm not sure 2-0, 2-1 either way, but I'd expect av3k, if he's in good shape, he's got the dual brain for it as well. Skills are going to translate. And
I mean, he's been playing like probably, I don't want to say some of the best Quake he's ever played because I haven't actually seen him play Quake back then, right? But he is playing some amazing Quake at the moment, as we do have our picks coming through.
Yeah, again, we've got Athena and Galena that are out. Visor's going to be first picked by the two of them. And I see it's all mirrored at the moment with the Ranger with the Visors. And this is where things might get special.
BJ, really?
Ooh, and an Anarchy. All right.
Okay, so let's start at the BJ, because we both did the ooh, because BJ, like Nyx, was changed. He has that like half-second delay between you activating his ability and shooting.
Yeah, precisely. And
so it's very impactful, because the thing was, you used to use it with LG, it would instantly come out, you're instantly able to fire. But now you have to preemptively use the dual wield. And we were talking about Tox doing that quite a bit and being one of the best players we've seen so far.
Indeed. If av3k can get some good utilization from it, brilliant. I'm looking forward to it. Also looking forward to the Anarchy of cha1n as we get started now here in the duel. av3k and cha1n on Ruins of Sarnath. And I'm curious, what are the first champions on? We are going to go straight Visor. There's a light armor spawn for av3k. Heavy is going to get taken by cha1n ultimately. They're trying to get some early damage, but lacking any weapons for close range, he's going to go for the nail gun first. And something I wanted to touch upon for cha1n is the possibilities for him in this game is his rail unleashing, because his rail game is unbelievable. And if you can get that consistency going, I think it could be a huge thorn in av3k's side.
Well, then we got a great set of maps for him as well, with Blood Covenant to come up second. So if he's able to hit those rails like you're saying, we could potentially see a 2-0 for cha1n. As you did mention, you were wondering what champions we're going to see off the start. Typically, you will see the Visors, but the Anarchy is the really interesting one, because you can run Anarchy off the start, almost zerg down an opponent before they go for a pickup, and then just burst them down in time, because you can heal yourself, obviously. But in the meantime, cha1n is slowing things down, has heard Heavy being picked up, and will finally be able to pick up LG about a minute in.
Yeah, so resources being heavily contested. Stray rocket, I mentioned exchanged, but av3k finds a really cheeky rail, actually. That was very nice from him. He's got a massive stack advantage right now. Difficulty is he hasn't got the piercing sight up for a while.
Well, speaking of the piercing sight, we mentioned it, towards the start of the day, a lot of champions got, quote unquote nerfed because of their ability damage being normalized across the board. The Visor got a buff. It went from 50 seconds down to 45 with this piercing sight, and the piercing sight, unfortunately for cha1n, will not save him there, as av3k again with the LG playing from the high ground. He has a decent stack as well to actually fight off the back of this. He has the weapon advantage as well. That rail's not going to hit, but he's done the damage, and now he's got access to Heavy. But can he get to Mega in time? Because look at this, cha1n actually wasn't even going for it, as he finally goes to the teleport, and he should be able to spot it in a second.
I thought what he was going to try and do, which could have been really sick, is orb over to the light armor and get Mega, and then teleport through it. Then he would have netted a huge amount of health and armor. But he's opted for a long way round for the time being. I really feel that cha1n shouldn't have given up the first frag also. He used piercing sight and still ran into
He challenged it too.
Yeah, it was too dangerous at that stage. He needed to slow the game down a little bit more.
So, Sue, let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on the Anarchy as a last choice? Because I know you and I talk a lot about like when you play certain champions. He's saving Anarchy for last.
There is a refrag ability with Anarchy. Injection, you have speed, you're able to hunt around the map faster than anything else. I really think Anarchy can be used at any position in a duel game. But it's a case of can you get your opponent weak on the frag before, even if you go down? And can you get yourself items or weapons quick enough as well? But here's a fight down at the heavy armor. av3k not going to overcommit to it. Happy with his control and his lead in this round. He's going to keep this close.
On that note of refrag potential, by the way, Anarchy is one of like the few champions, if maybe the only champion, maybe Galena as well, who is very strong at dealing with a fight right after the fight you just had. So if you have a fight, you get the frag, then you can, if you have your ejection, save it. So when they try to rush you down, which typically players will do once they do damage to you, you'll be back healthy. So he really has that, to not allow the enemy to get like a real good idea of about your stack at that moment, since you can quickly spike your health up.
Definitely, definitely. Alex seems to be playing it incredibly safe. The Dire Orb is still a danger in combat with the burst damage that you can get from it. I'm actually kind of surprised at how passive av3k's been since the frag, but I can't really criticize it because he's still got a lead. He's still challenging control. And is forcing cha1n to make an aggressive play at the moment. Here's the mega health. It's going to be orbed onto by cha1n. Going now with the LG. He's not doing a terrible job with this, but the rail maybe could have ended that.
Yeah, that was killable. He's at like about 80 HP as he picks up a health bubble, so back to that 100. That was definitely doable, but av3k has lost both pickups, but it doesn't seem to matter too much, especially if he's able to keep his distance, but he might be running into a trap and he spots cha1n out, gets railed up, and retreat over towards the light armor though, and maybe look for a fight off the back. That's actually a quick 60 damage now done. Their stacks almost equal here, Zoot.
cha1n is going to look.
He's got no weapons. He's got no ammo for weapons for av3k. cha1n has him blocked in a corner.
I think he ran low on rockets and he doesn't have a whole lot of LG, so he decided not to go for it just then. He's going to be able to get full control right now, and he's going to have his orb again soon. Well, that's really important that av3k does some chip damage so that cha1n doesn't have so many weapons, so much health and armor, sorry, to work with on the way out. But av3k may have overcommitted to this, but there's the wrong weapon out for cha1n. He's not able to secure the kill, and we've got almost 30 seconds to go before cha1n has to have something.
And he pretty much he needed to almost commit to that last fight because of the time that is left remaining. He's gonna have his orb up for 30 seconds, but you know what? The round's gonna be over in less time than that. So he needs to pick up some hourglasses to have a chance. He definitely needs this mega, and he also has to hope that av3k's gonna challenge out towards heavy.
He does. He should have heard it getting taken. He's now got to start stringing together these rails. He's not going to have his ability up in time. There's the hourglasses that might help him out, but he's got to lock him down. There's no piercing sight for a while. Has he sensed him around the side? He finds him looking for a rocket jump. Orb on the sideline, but av3k is going to get the kill and defend himself.
You can't hate on that play either by cha1n at the end. You can't say, well, why'd you rocket jump? He had no time. He had to go for the frag. So you know what? If anyone's out there like, oh, cha1n, that's a stupid move, well, you can shut up, because that was the only move he could make in that situation.
You've been told.
But, yeah, by me, an 1800 player. But no, we've had av3k take the first round here.
700 in a bit.
1850. All right. Come on. Give me those extra 100.
You're right to point out, though, about how cha1n, he had that opportunity to get the kill earlier at the top part of the map, and he didn't go for it. Sometimes, you know, you've got a minute left. If the opportunity presents itself, you've got to take the risk when it's there in front of you. And I think there's a bit of hesitation there, or maybe he felt, I don't need to take too much risk as I'm still early on in the duel. It's here and there, really.
Oh, nice little LG coming out. Actually gets the first bit of engagement there. He does get knocked up with the rocket and rail, but look at his stack. He can still commit for this fight. He knows the timing on heavy as well. And it looks like cha1n, by the way, we haven't even mentioned, he's starting with Ranger this time instead of Visor. So av3k has that sight advantage, and he's playing slow, but it gives him the opportunity to use that towards his advantage because he can constantly see where cha1n's going to be as long as he's cycling his hourglass as well.
I like that he's waiting for the heavy first, so that he doesn't use before he uses his ability. That means he doesn't just sit around acquiring unnecessary information. He can make a good decision straight away from picking up the item.
He's out-positioning cha1n really well too, because once he did get that heavy, cha1n, because of the discrepancy of times of pickups, wasn't able to go for mega. So av3k's able to take both items. He still doesn't have rockets, by the way. He's got the LG to push in for this one if he wants. He has the timing on it as well. But cha1n's just gonna hit a rail, retreat away. But cha1n's got to do something. He has to do something to break this control that av3k has.
I like that cha1n was actually at the heavy. It's a shame he didn't commit to it, but now LG, there's an orb to help him get away. He's just using it to misdirect, so av3k's going to get a little fooled, but cha1n's probably got to cycle some light armors, heal himself up. That's a really important rail he got, but av3k does return the favor. Slight bump into the wall, but it's not interrupting much, as he should be able to get himself down to the heavy armor and perpetuate this control. All
right, so Zoot, you're in cha1n's boots. How do you break this control that av3k has, bar him just mistiming something, which is not going to happen.
I mean, you've got to try and get to your full natural stack to begin with, but during that, you've got to be hyper aware of when that piercing sight is up or down, and whether or not you can be giving up damage in those instances. So shoulder peeking corners is going to be useful. And then you want to start slowing him down at an item. So if he's at heavy, try and prevent him from wanting to leave it. We've got to fight up at the top, and av3k just strings together some fantastic rockets. First blood yet again.
Seem to be patient too, waiting for the respawn.
We've got Anarchy. He's going to use his injection right off the spawn. He's got some speed going now. We have got the piercing sight. which can make it very dangerous for Anarchy because he can just walk into a perfectly timed rocket, as you've obviously got the information then.
And that's when Anarchy's going to be the weakest, when he does get popped up in the air by a rocket. Because it's almost, it's not going to say guaranteed kill, but it's very, very likely because he gets super aggressive if charge straight, and he doesn't have his injection though, so he has to be so careful. Av3k, rocket jumping up, and cha1n picking up one of those health bubbles, is able to survive, but so is av3k with 4 HP.
Oh, this is a nice play from cha1n. He goes straight over to get himself onto the heavy armor. av3k's only on 100 health. This is very much contested now. There's a 25 taken by cha1n, but I think he's going to cycle around with the... that rocket. Oh, quite follows. Gets more rocket ammunition. He's able to get his injection up. He might do that just to boost him for the next fight.
Not a mistake. Oh, okay, well, hold on to that. I thought he actually just go in with the injection, gets a nice little bounce up onto him, but not enough damage to really commit to this one. The rail's trying to come out, and av3k knows he has a low HP. The piercing sight, we're not sure if it's being used. No, he doesn't even need it. He gets the frag, and now he can use it for the respawn back of cha1n.
Let's see if he does that. He can get himself some LG. Once he has that, he can go all over it. There we go. His objectives, miniature objectives, are complete, and now he's looking, okay, how can I run into him? Drops down below. There is an orb to look out for. Sorry. My mistake. He did use that ranger at the beginning, didn't he?
Yeah, it's cool. The piercing sight's work. You meant piercing sight. It's gonna work. You gotta watch out for the piercing sight. I got you.
Show that.
You see the rails trying to come out of av3k here. He's got him locked in. He's got Mega coming up as well. And there you go. av3k clearly gonna take that second round.
And again, a bit like the last round, cha1n, he's forcing himself to challenge an item because you've got to do something at that point. Going down the clock a bit, maybe cha1n's also playing a bit passive early on. He's got very good aim. I'd like him to get himself into a fight a little early on. Don't give av3k so much respect. He's worthy of respect. He's a legend, but he can very much be vulnerable.
Respect.
Yeah.
And something I wanna mention. I don't think it's been talked about a lot, and I could be actually completely wrong with what happened. The last patch, when you re-pick up a weapon, you only get 1 ammo.
So you get yourself to the default limit of that weapon.
And then you get 1 additional if you pick it up again.
Unless
before
it's
that,
ammo crates or corpse weapons. Yeah.
Exactly, so that's what I'm trying to talk about, is the ammo crates are even more important now with this last patch.
Hugely.
Because we see how many people spam rockets just to do some occasional damage or to prevent someone from chasing or something like that. But you have to be so aware that now your ammo is hurting a lot more, and speaking of hurting, cha1n, just gonna be rushed down, just getting out-railed by av3k.
I like the idea from cha1n. It was so close to being the right timing, but av3k finds an amazing rail. We've got a rush down from cha1n, but he gets picked out of the air as av3k is 1 frag away from securing a 3-0 here on Ruins, setting himself into a map advantage.
I think he hears exactly where cha1n's gonna be too, and I mean, like I say, cha1n's looking flustered at all, but you realize he has to make a play somehow. He's already down so much in this round. Piercing sight comes out. There's the rail. av3k 63 HP.
And that was a nice little shoulder pick there from cha1n. He got himself to 100 health. He could take a small risk and bait out the shot, and he should now he has a window of time where av3k doesn't have his ability, so he needs to make a play in the next 20 seconds or less, assuming that Hourglass is getting taken.
Oh my.
Wow, the 6s.
He had heavy.
He had it, and he had some health.
But it's all gone now, and now even av3k's gonna get the light armor on top of this, so his stack is looking fantastic, as 40 Lions would say.
That was good.
It wasn't bad, right? It wasn't bad. I think it's just weird if I do it.
9 out of 10.
9, I'll take it. I'm gonna say 40 out of 10. Anyways, av3k gets the chase. And you know what? There's not much hype about that. That was just clean, quick, concise, quick.
I think cha1n doesn't look very confident. I'd say he was making some good plays. He wasn't necessarily finishing the job. And honestly, that first round hesitation where he didn't commit to the frag.
At LG, right?
Yeah, I was like, if he goes in for that, he can suddenly get some motivation. Did he pick up kills?
I
want to say
no.
Yeah, I want to say no.
I don't remember seeing av3k drop his visor.
It wasn't really a 9-0 because we didn't see 9 frags from av3k.
But
yeah, I mean, av3k holding on to that champion pretty much the
I mean,
whole
I know
way.
we didn't see the BJ out of him, and I'm like 90% sure we only saw Ranger out of cha1n, so.
Yeah, quite. I'll see a couple of the replays going on. cha1n did get some really nice rolls, but it was over here. This was kind of like, oh, it's pretty much over. av3k gets all of that free damage. He's able to sustain the control, and then it's just a formality by the end of it.
You saw even cha1n running out with the gauntlet, so he even kind of knew, like, this is...
It's like hoping, please, can he not be chasing?
Can you just run into my gauntlet blindly for like 5 seconds? It's unfortunate for cha1n, but at the same time, like, av3k is continuing how well he played earlier today.
But the thing is, if cha1n can start turning it up, he's going on to his map pick, Blood Covenant. If he suddenly turns up the heat and av3k gets maybe a little bit too comfortable, things could be different. Obviously, the flip side is that av3k is looking as good as he is in 2v2, and he's going to have a similar result.
I mean,
Blood Covenant.
So I'm imagining we're going to see Visor again out of both players. av3k was playing... The thing is, we talked about cha1n's rail. av3k's rail was equally, if not better, than cha1n's in that map at least. And on a map like Blood Covenant, it's very easy to keep your distance on certain parts of the map so you can use the rail. But when we saw av3k switch to LG, he was always like I would say like ninjaing. He kind of came in from an angle that cha1n didn't expect, like we saw out there on the outside near Nail Gun on Ruins of Sarnath. He kind of just caught him on the bounce pad kind of thing. You can't do that as easily on Blood Covenant. So I feel like, you know, cha1n will be able to slow things down a little bit more and play it to a better pace for him. But
the rail
Blood Covenant
will come out too.
Yeah, it's got to hit rails.
The problem is, though, is if av3k is able to defend the rail spawn off the beginning, and cha1n wants to force himself to get that rail again, it could punish him a lot. So if av3k holds that rail, it makes it difficult for cha1n to get it. I won't be surprised if we see a similar result to Ruins. We are going to have Ranger second, Doom second, though, for cha1n. We could get another light champion from him. His Anarchy, I don't even think was that bad at all. He just didn't get enough time to use it. I felt like the damage he did was good in fights, and I would have liked to have seen it at first pick at one point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the past is the past.
Yeah.
He did switch things up once. But once he played that Ranger first, immediately the next round, he's like, okay, I have to go back to Visor. I think if your opponent starts Visor, you have to start Visor as well. Like, you give too much of an advantage away when you do that.
I don't know. Maybe I just fanboy Anarchy a bit too much, but I would have loved to see him.
He's good. I mean, look at Gelisad. Like, this guy, we were talking before yesterday about how good he is. The thing is, he's able to swing so wide that his jumps are so far apart that you just don't hear him coming.
Yeah.
And he surprises you. And Anarchy has the ability to do the same thing.
Sure, absolutely.
It's just he wasn't able to be as confident, I guess, as he'd like to.
Well, we are here on Blood Covenant, where av3k's got a chance to put himself through to the next round. And he's going to get that mega side spawn. cha1n has access to that railgun very early on, which is going to be good for him. However, it's time to make use of it. He lands a big rocket. He might be able to move himself, get into a first frag of the whole series. There we go. cha1n, can he build anything from this?
I will say one thing, not to take away from cha1n, but av3k didn't use his piercing sight at all there. Maybe a little bit of disrespect. Maybe he just felt like he didn't need to use it. But, I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it. And he unfortunately did lose his Visor for the first time. So cha1n able to pick up a frag the first time in this series. Oh my god, that rocket's a rail! Can av3k close it out, though?
To be fair, cha1n kind of tied up the risk factor for both players then. But still, that was an insane... I think that was a full 190. At least it looked like it. I saw how weak cha1n was afterwards.
Well, able to restack up in terms of his armor at the moment. He knows he has to give up heavy, and there is a big time window between the two. Goes for the rocket jump back up. Eats about 32. Not too bad, but cha1n, unfortunately, is not really in a position to contest Mega anymore. He does have the rail, though, so he could at least do some damage on the exit path, but av3k's doing more. Wow, that was a... Did he... It sounded like a pixel.
That was really sick from cha1n. And again, he's got to be really good with his rails. However, as good as he's being, av3k's being as good, if not better. Here, right in front. He does a lot of damage. The orb was used a bit recently, and it didn't really do anything for av3k. He's so low. Now cha1n's going to be able to get heavy and possibly do damage on Mega. But he's not going to go straight away.
It looked like av3k was caught with rail out, actually, towards LG. And I think he hit the rail against cha1n, but obviously the rockets, he was able to fire out quite a bit more to do more damage to av3k than to him. But their stacks are both really good, except again, these rails are just hitting non-stop. Currently between the two, we got 36% for av3k and 40% for cha1n. And they've taken about the same amount of shots.
Hold on. Let's get the timing right. Not for the rocket. Does have rail damage. av3k with an advantageous stack. But the straight away av3k punishes that mega health pickup. Looking for a quick pre-fire at the top.
The thing is, cha1n is playing in the advantage. So av3k is eventually going to have to pick up a frag here or try to force a frag just to equalize things. We're only halfway through the round, so it's not that big of a deal. But you can tell for cha1n's sake, oh my god, that tribal prediction. But oh my god, again. But for cha1n's sake, though, after losing the first map in such a one-sided fashion, he needs to get a round under his belt here.
The sort of passive play, though, scares me when someone says, I've got an advantage, let's play passive for a little bit. It is a concern. I want us to still challenge the control. Obviously, in order to do that, he's going to have to out-damage av3k in these situations. But he's on his guard. What a drop over there from him. Follow-up with the lightning gun is flawless, and av3k is going to equalize the champion scores. cha1n moves over to the Ranger now.
He's saving his Visor for last. See, to me, that's a little interesting as well now. considering you're both tied up at 2 apiece left. Visor here could give you a lot of easy rail opportunities and easy rail angles to use. But it's going to be Ranger versus Ranger, so maybe we're going to see some die reps come in from both these two players. That's another rail hit for Av3k. cha1n has just been given no quarter here. Constant pressure out of av3k.
Just doesn't get the angle. He thinks twice about going across. av3k was ready for another rail. Reading cha1n's movement incredibly decently so. Rocket at the top. cha1n hears it coming.
Was faking a rocket jump there, it looked like.
There's a legit rocket jump to get himself that mega soon. cha1n trying to rocket jump away. Takes the rail damage regardless. av3k just seems to be hitting everything he needs to put on that right amount of pressure. And the amount of time left, if cha1n gets fragged, it's going to be very difficult to come back. Even if he's got Visor, you got the information, but you don't have the same mobility or burst damage potential.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Zoop. Have we ever had a back-to-back champion in Duel in 2 consecutive major tournaments?
I want to say no.
I'm looking at av3k. He's playing so well. I'm not saying he's going to win the tournament, but one thing that I love about Duel so much. Oh, the Dyro comes through and it goes a little bit too short. av3k picks up the Mega, and he actually gets the LG off of cha1n to transition across the pillars and pick up the frag. And now, Zoop, 20 seconds left,
this is so
and
hot.
cha1n has to get this frag. Luckily for him, he spawned next to av3k, but he doesn't have the weaponry.
And the thing is, he's going to try and get himself weapons out. What, is he going to go for heavy? He's got to rush in with the nail gun and hit as much as possible. All the risks necessary are being taken, but it's not enough. av3k will secure the first round.
It's almost no respect at the end, too, because av3k could have just run away.
Yeah.
But he's like, you know, I don't care if you have a nail gun. I'm just going to push into you to solidify that win.
Yeah, he just knew how outstacked cha1n was at that point. He was like, you know what, I'll fight you. I'll respect the nail gun. You can see he didn't just run close to him.
He didn't hold forward.
Yeah, that is true. He let cha1n decide whether he wanted to engage or not.
Early challenge out of cha1n, though. Trying to contest heavy here.
I like this, actually. I like this. You can even think about dropping out, apart from knowing when that piercing sight's used.
And I think you're seeing also the emphasis out of av3k. He obviously doesn't want to let heavy go, which cha1n has yet to pick up, by the way, because he thinks maybe av3k's still there. But he's also giving up rail to cha1n, most importantly. He's not only giving up heavy, but rail on top of that is such an important thing, as we've seen cha1n. Well, I mean, even to be fair, av3k relying so heavily on it. But we have the Visor versus Doom yet again, Zood.
This is a really, really big delay, though, from cha1n, and I don't think cha1n's going to expect such a delay from that. I wonder what he's going to think of that position he just saw cha1n in and say, did he just come from the heavy now, or has he been lingering in that area for a while?
Oh,
you can see, yeah, he expects it to be up. So this is a big, big chance for cha1n to get the mega health and then challenge over at heavy. And av3k's just realized that he's like, something's gone awry.
Is he committing to this spot, though? Is he still want this heavy so bad that he's going to stay here to fight without the mega? And it looks like he will pick up the heavy. Nail gun, not really connecting on the shots, but neither is cha1n's rail. Now the LG coming out, and cha1n just missing so many rails. av3k smells blood in the water. He wants this frag. He catches cha1n on the jump. And there we go, av3k again.
It's a big shame for cha1n that he couldn't make that item delay work. If he went to mega sooner and maybe picked an alternative position, he could have challenged on the floor.
If he hit his rails, I think.
And his rail, yeah. He's missing a lot of rails, and I really think that cha1n's a rail-heavy player who maybe relies on it a bit too much, but is fantastic to watch when he's connecting.
Oh, there we go. There's the first shot. Second, unfortunately, is going to miss in that tribal spam. You don't really want to walk into that to contest at all. See Pierce's sight being used. Can catch him with the LG. He actually used up the bounce pad, which could be so dangerous for him, but again, the stack is there. And now cha1n is down to his last champion here. Visor up against 3 out of av3k, and honestly, av3k is just, he's not necessarily looking flawless, but he's damn close to it.
Yeah, av3k's not the type of player to go up a bounce pad unless he knows he can still secure the kill. It would be bad if he knew he had no resources to collect afterwards, but he knows I've got so much that I can take. I can retain full control. He's got the heavy, but he's like, you know what? Do I want to prioritize a frag maybe? I can just finish the round here?
I mean, av3k, the confidence out of him too, knowing that he's just hitting his shots and cha1n can't. Oh, that rocket into LG and cha1n. His chance in this round almost might be over here. av3k wants this, and he's going to get it here. The LG comes in, and av3k is 1 round away from taking a fairly clean sweep.
He's still only been fragged once in the series. I don't like to linger on it, but I mean, av3k's looking just incredibly composed. He's not really making any errors, and thinks where he can get outplayed is in the combat department. And cha1n's just not quite on par with him. And I think that's it. The 2v2 skill set you're seeing there in the fights. He's so ready for everything.
Okay, another rail hits. cha1n goes through the teleporter. Let's tag him along with a little bit of heavy machine gun, but honestly, I'm not gonna be able to match up against that damage. You can see he's being denied the rocket so far, or he's second-guessing himself if he can go that angle. But he's got the LG in hand, and he's at least able to force av3k back on top of that.
should find him now. Watches out for that damage.
I like that, just that stop out of chain too. Like he hears the rocket, he's like assuming, okay, it's probably coming my way. Let me just literally stop for like a split second so it doesn't hit me. Very good awareness.
I like that he's taking the tri-bolt. It's going to be important to use this weapon in certain situations, especially sort of the bridge to heavy. That distance is perfect for it. He does need the railgun. I wonder if he's going to choose this moment to go for it. It's a small window where he can try. As av3k has left the area briefly. cha1n has that long distance weapon now. And he's got good position actually, despite having a stack disadvantage.
Problem is that Mega's not going to be in his hands. He's looking to punish av3k on this. He does connect the shot, but again, one shot's not really going to matter too much. Now he's getting super aggressive here. He hits the rock for 100. There's the double hundies. And cha1n will put up another frag on the board.
That was actually awesome from him. That was really, really clean, really solid. It's time to reap the benefits now a bit, but he's missing those.
No.
If he's going with the heavy machine gun, you've got that trickle of damage going, and he's missed 3 rail shots.
I think you see some frustration out of him right there, but av3k goes in trying to finish off the frag, and cha1n will pick this one up. He's not done just yet, but he also doesn't have that great of a stack, and as he goes up towards Mega, he's going to spot out av3k again. But there's still a lot of time on the board here.
Is av3k going to go for the rail? I think the timing of that sort of left and right. All right, that timing of that rocket that was good. The timing of left and right was unfortunate, but that was really sick.
Makes up for it.
Definitely.
I was going to catch him out towards lower banana and the nail gun. I mean, the thing is, you got to respect it. Like people, you know, kind of toy with it sometimes, but it can do ridiculous damage if you don't give it the respect it deserves.
And on land, it's connecting so much. So if you wield it correctly, it can be devastatingly powerful.
See,
at 200
you know,
DPS.
av3k should have bought the esports crate that's on the store, because then he would have had a plasma gun.
It's true. This is true.
If you guys are interested in that, go check it out. Some reliquaries, some extra goodies on top of that. But speaking of av3k, it's another frag, ties things up now. 2.5 minutes in, it's going to be Doom up against Ranger.
I think I'll be personally rooting for cha1n here. He'll feel a lot better, I think. Because, you know, there's a lower bracket too in the duel. I think just getting around on the board, on stage, it's, you know, get a little bit of comfort from that.
Well, you heard Yenum, right? They were saying on the desk that he's never won a match on stage, and he finally did it. Maybe there's a lot of extra pressure off his shoulders now. I mean, the thing is, cha1n has won matches on the stage. He did win the collegiate tournament we had at QuakeCon. Oh, Berserk Mysticup's coming out.
That's unusual, actually, because he can still take a lot of damage. I love the challenge from cha1n, and he is going to be able to take him down. Interesting risk taken by him. You could see a little smirk, I think, at the end there. But it didn't quite work out for him. However, cha1n on the board now. Chance for redemption, possibly. Let's see if we can get a step closer to the match point.
The first step was getting a frag, which he did on this map.
Yeah.
Now he's taken a round on this map. But can he turn this into a map victory? And it's going to be tough, definitely, for him. Especially starting out yet again on Doom, not going for Visor right away.
I mean, if it works, it works. But I'd also usually say Visor versus Visor is very strong. Because again, Doom's been actually a lot more popular than I expected on this patch. He goes for the double jump there, trying to get the damage, but does not work out for him. If the follow-up worked, he could get the mutual. It's all could have, should have.
I mean, av3k almost has a stack to challenge this, and actually catches him on the bounce pad. He's going to go up, and he's going to go for the LG kill. He gets knocked away. cha1n is hitting everything here. Now av3k's the one low on stack.
He needs some health and armor, though. Presumably, av3k's got himself on the rail already. Oh, he doesn't have rail. av3k has not got the rail gun. Report in, he doesn't have it.
Thank you, Zoot, in the field, currently on Blood Covenant. As we're back at the studio, watching cha1n slow things down yet again here. And again, he's down a champion. If he loses this round, like I said, he won't be out of the tournament, but maybe the lower side of the bracket. He actually might catch out av3k here. av3k might catch him.
Well, that was actually a really sick dialogue, to be honest. If he didn't follow through it, av3k would certainly have found him, and he still manages to at least tie up some control a bit.
Means that light armor that was over towards pillars. Maybe he's expecting av3k to be there.
Interesting. He's going to waddle back, actually, but he's making a lot of noise, so av3k knows exactly where he is, so he can only try and feign out some potential decisions. And because he goes to that light armor later on, I wonder if in av3k's head he's going to be thinking of the timing for that item, because it's really, after a fight, it's one of your default go-to items.
Here we go, cha1n playing from bridge. Both items are going to be up. Tri-bolt's going to come in. Just be a little bit shy of cha1n. And Mega will be secured, so now cha1n probably going to back off, pick up heavy. And I mean, we'll look for the next dance to break off here between the two. And cha1n, he's the one that needs to lead the charge. He's the one that has to force this fight.
Really good decision from cha1n to be looking for the damage, though, proactively before going to the item. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to connect. Neither's there. But we're seeing some really good decision-making from cha1n. Now it's about the execution. Mega Health, the next big item coming up. And that little delay, again, is kind of thrown off av3k a tiny bit, but cha1n's not committing to the situation after. Let's do all. Okay, this is good. Again, hit those rails, cha1n. This is going to take you to the next level. This is going to take you to a tiebreaker map if you can string together those shots.
I'm looking up to get the orb back online. He's got the stack advantage at the moment. Of course, just as I say that, the commentator's curse comes into effect. He doesn't actually get chipped away at with the rail. He can actually orb up to look for the fight. And av3k, smart enough, backs away from this one. Just try not to let cha1n have the fight that he wants. And all in all, you know, minus that rocket, av3k is just doing more damage in general. Like, he's always chipping away, whether it's the machine gun, the tribal, LG, anything. He's lost heavy
down
too.
Below. Yeah, I don't think he can get this. I think he's just realized that happening to him. He doesn't commit to an item straight away. av3k's not gone over there yet, though.
He's lurking, though. I think he's up on bridge at the moment.
He's still not gone for it. cha1n, is he seeing if he can punk his way around? There's going to be a drop down from av3k. He just saw it. Rocket jump is going to work. There should be a light armor now spawned by the pillars. And he's got some resources to work with, but you got someone who's over 300 collective health and armor. Time to try and get some free damage.
Luckily for him, because av3k didn't take heavy so quickly, it allowed cha1n to pick up Mega in the end. So av3k did pick up the heavy eventually. But it allows cha1n to kind of get back into this one again. He's still missing quite a bit of armor here. You can see him trying to go for the chase down onto av3k. LG's come out. The orb is well being used. You just see cha1n melting. One more rocket could be it. Switch over to the rail. He's not going to connect to cha1n. We'll get the frag in a much needed time, but he's got to restack here, Zoot. He's not out of the clear.
Yeah, and he's opting to go for the Mega Health. I was just about to comment that he's hitting 27% rail for the time being, but you know what? He forced a fight that I don't think av3k was expecting, because cha1n was outstacked then. And it's so important. He's got rid of that visor. He's still got the visor to work with if we ever get there, but something tells me one frag will determine this round.
It's a Ranger versus Ranger, and I mean, cha1n, if he can contest heavy, the thing is he can't go with this bounce pad anymore. Does he have the time? You know, it's going to be another question, but it looks like he's just going to sit back and go over towards Mega. He actually doesn't have the position of where av3k's going to be, so av3k gets the first engagement. There's the rail coming out. cha1n, he had LG,
nice
but
hold. Nice hold.
Now with heavy being left up, because av3k went for the chase, it allows cha1n to pick this one up.
That was actually super sick.
He's not taking heavy. He thinks that av3k already took it.
I'm not sure if he's just trying to be proactive and keep him controlled. av3k goes for the orb, damage on the drive-by. Now the heavy can possibly be taken. This is where cha1n looks for damage on the exit, but he doesn't go for any follow-up. He doesn't do too badly just then, but yeah, I do wonder if it was just deliberate or mistiming of the heavy.
Let's just say deliberate for his sake.
Yeah.
These players are way better than we are. Mega and orb going to be used. Nice little escape there. And Mac for LG now as he's going to transition up most likely towards Portal here. Well, he's not going to get the rail shot this time, but we're on a sudden death, so next frag will take the round, and in av3k's case, it will take the match. I don't think he heard the rocket jump, though.
Yeah, he's not sure about it. I think he checked through the little window whether or not the heavy was taken. Spots him there, no rail, but takes no damage in return. And as long as he's not taking the damage, he can still be happy. But now that he goes up against an overstacked player, he's got to start landing the damage. The orbit is so much from av3k. He's going to be able to swipe away that frag and the series, pushing him through to the next round, 3-0 and 3-1 respectively.
So av3k looking good.
Yeah.
Looking consistent, looking like he was playing earlier on in twos, which is honestly great to see. I know av3k's been kind of swapped around a couple times. He played with Cypher in Tours, he played with Kilson and QuakeCon, he's playing with Cypher again here, and his duel history hasn't really gotten him that far in tournaments so far in this year alone, but great to see he's able to perform here, takes his first victory in his first match in duel, and looking great. Yeah, looking super comfortable on Ruins. Blood Covenant was definitely more hard fought actually. cha1n was playing a lot better. It felt like there were a couple of scenarios that maybe he was overplaying a bit. Even though I really liked what he was doing, you need that flawless execution if you want to make that work. And I think sometimes just
in Ruins, he went for the over-safe play, and this time he went for the over-aggressive play, I feel like. Does that make sense?
I mean, cha1n had a really good delay on heavy that we saw. It was just a shame he wasn't able to like capitalize off of that. To take both items and be able to contest.
There's a lot of smart plays from him.
It threw Avik off for a while.
For sure.
But then again, he did hit the rails on bridge, and Avik was able to take heavy and escape. So it's a little unfortunate, but you know, cha1n's not out just yet. He still has a lower bracket to play from. But as we've been saying throughout this entire tournament, every match is going to be difficult. And just imagine all the players we still have in this duel tournament and who will meet who in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many potential matchups. Before we get over to them, though, we'll send it back over to the desk where the guys will break down Avik versus cha1n.
Breaking down is exactly the phrase. Yeah, that was a matchup, and it was a grueling one. I think it would have felt better if, you know, cha1n just got 3-0'd twice very quickly, but that was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I mean, it was what the caster said, especially on Blood Covenant. He put up more of a fight, but Avik was
actually
just so dominant.
I kind of disagree there, because in Ruins, it was a 3-0, and cha1n didn't make frags. But there were a lot more opportunities where cha1n had made like a turnaround on the map in terms of control. And the way Ruins can play, you know, you lose one frag, momentum can kind of turn into a thing. So cha1n was able to get frags and able to take a round on Blood Covenant, but it was messy.
Very messy, and I just want to kind of point back to the experience thing. I think that certainly was a factor here in this win for Avik. There were some decisions cha1n made that I was watching kind of in the back there, kind of question like, I'm not so sure about that one, but and Avik was making.
And overall, that's why I say like I think his decision making on Ruins is better. It didn't pay off in terms of frags or rounds, but I think, you know, if we saw another Ruins like that, it could have gone differently.
Well, there was one. It was 1-0 Avik, and he had to force his way towards that back stair area towards to the.
He had
small armor.
Right?
He had a good position. It was just a last-minute play. He had to make it, and it just didn't work out for him. But it just shows how close the round was. And even earlier in that round, there was a time where I thought he had Avik down by the LG area. He had him pinned. He had rotated back to grab Mega and grab heavy armor, which was a smart play to keep the stack. And he's like, okay, he's going to go all in right here. Avik made a great defensive play, hit a couple rails, and he just turned the tide on him. And I just thought it was a good example of his experience. And when he was not in control, he seemed like he was ready to be fragged. He was just very cagey. He wasn't giving up anything easy.
I was really impressed with Avik's plays. I mean, because people know him for being extremely aggressive, but I think he really balanced his passive and reactive playstyle with that aggression. There were, for example, on Ruins, he would play a passive game when he needed to. He would play evasive, he would hit the rails, but then in a flick of a second, he would all of a sudden rocket jump up from railgun and just go after his target with the rockets. And there we saw that old super aggressive Avik come out.